In the NBA, stories of perseverance are everywhere. Every year, young players enter the league dreaming of becoming superstars. But very few careers have generated as much debate, controversy, and mystery as Jalen Brunson's. For years, he was viewed as nothing more than a solid role player, a disciplined athlete, a dependable teammate, but never a franchise-changing star. Analysts questioned his size. Scouts questioned his athleticism. Critics questioned his ceiling. And yet, he proved every single one of them wrong. What makes this story so fascinating isn't simply Brunson's rise to stardom. It's the trail of controversy that followed him along the way. Questions about favoritism, a shocking departure from Dallas, an NBA investigation, and decisions made behind closed doors that would completely reshape the future of multiple franchises. How did a second-round draft pick become one of the most influential players in professional basketball? Was it simply hard work? Or is there more to this story than most people realize? Tonight, we uncover the remarkable and controversial journey of Jalen Brunson, because the deeper you look into his career, the more surprising it becomes. Long before he played a single NBA game, Jalen Brunson carried a burden that most young athletes never experience. He was born into basketball. His father, Rick Brunson, spent years in the NBA as both a player and later a coach. While most children watched NBA stars on television, Jalen grew up around them. Locker rooms, practices, team facilities, professional athletes. Basketball wasn't simply a dream. It was his everyday reality. But what appeared to be an advantage quickly became a source of suspicion. Many believe his opportunities came because of his last name, not because of his talent. Throughout his youth, Brunson repeatedly heard the same criticism. Was he earning a success, or was he simply benefiting from family connections? That question would follow him for years, and as his career progressed, it never completely disappeared. Behind the scenes, Rick Brunson was known for his demanding approach, and nowhere was that discipline stronger than at home. While other teenagers spent their free time relaxing, Jalen was studying basketball, watching game film, analyzing strategies, breaking down player movements, learning how to think several steps ahead. His development wasn't based solely on physical training. It was mental conditioning. Victory was never enough. Defeat was never an excuse. There was always another lesson, another weakness to fix, another detail to master. Over time, Brunson developed a relentless work ethic. Some described it as discipline. Others described it as obsession. Whatever the label, it became the foundation of everything he would eventually achieve. But it also created a mindset that would define his entire career, a constant need to prove people wrong, even when he no longer had anything left to prove. When Jalen Brunson entered the NBA, few people viewed him as a future star. In fact, many believe his upside was limited. He wasn't the fastest player. He wasn't the strongest. He wasn't the most explosive athlete. In a league obsessed with physical traits, Brunson seemed easy to overlook. For years in Dallas, he lived in Luka Doncic's shadow. His role was clear: support the superstar, run the offense when needed, stay out of the spotlight. And slowly, a dangerous narrative emerged. Many people began to believe that Brunson was merely a product of the system around Doncic, a useful player, a replaceable player, a player whose true value wasn't fully understood. That assumption would eventually cost an NBA franchise dearly. If there's one chapter that continues to define the controversy surrounding Jalen Brunson's career, it's his departure from the Dallas Mavericks. For years, Dallas had opportunities to secure his future, multiple chances to offer a contract extension, multiple chances to recognize his growing value. But they hesitated. Management believed they could wait. They believed they had more time. They believed Brunson would remain affordable. It was a gamble, and it would become one of the most criticized front office decisions of the modern NBA era. By the end of the 2021-22 season, Brunson was no longer a supporting player. His playoff performances had captured the attention of the entire league. Then came New York. The Knicks offered money, opportunity, leadership, a starring role, and Brunson accepted. The reaction was immediate. Dallas fans were furious. Analysts questioned the size of the contract. Media outlets debated whether New York had dramatically overpaid, but the controversy was only beginning. Shortly after Brunson joined the Knicks, questions began to surface. Why did New York appear so confident? How did negotiations progress so quickly? Why were there so many connections between Brunson's inner circle and members of the Knicks organization? The questions attracted the attention of the NBA. Soon, the league launched an official investigation. Sports media exploded with speculation. Fans debated the situation endlessly. The story dominated headlines for weeks. Eventually, the NBA issued penalties to the Knicks related to violations of league communication rules. Yet no wrongdoing was ever attributed to Brunson himself. Still, the investigation left a permanent mark on the story of his career. Even today, many fans view his arrival in New York as one of the most controversial player acquisitions of that period. There is something remarkable about every controversy surrounding Jalen Brunson. He rarely responded with words. He responded with performances. The more critics questioned his contract, the better he played. The more analysts doubted his leadership, the more games he took over. The more people claimed the Knicks had made a mistake, the more valuable he became. Few athletes have changed public perception so dramatically, and as his success continued, the criticism became harder and harder to justify. Eventually, the results became impossible to ignore. New York is one of the toughest sports markets in the world. The city creates heroes, but it also destroys them. For decades, talented players arrived with enormous expectations and failed to meet them. Brunson's journey was different. He arrived surrounded by doubt and earned respect. Season after season, he transformed from a questioned signing into the face of the franchise. The same analysts who criticized his contract began praising his leadership. The same fans who doubted his abilities started calling him the heart of the Knicks. It was a transformation few predicted. And perhaps that's exactly why his story remains so compelling. Today, Jalen Brunson is celebrated as a leader, a winner, a franchise cornerstone. But reducing his career to a simple success story would ignore the controversy that shaped it. The questions about his surname, the doubts about his talent, the shocking departure from Dallas, the NBA investigation, the critics who insisted he would never become a star. Every chapter added another layer to an already remarkable journey. Some questions may never be fully answered. Some debates may continue for years. But one fact remains undeniable. While executives made mistakes, while analysts doubted him, while fans argued endlessly about his future, Jalen Brunson kept doing exactly the same thing, winning. And that may be the most surprising part of his entire story.